XJ 94.1. You're listening to Jumpstart.
She will give me her food like charity. Me no need but be accept like poverty. Come to agreement so we have full solidarity. Baby girl say me got the sauce. She want roll with the boss. Cause man popular.
The street, we already played it.
Popularity,
Music on XJ.
charity. Me no need but be accept like poverty. Come to agreement so we have full solidarity. Baby girl say me got the sauce. She want roll with the boss. Cause man popular. Yo, the girl said that she need me. But take a boy girl easy. Cause man popular.
Your girlfriend let me come and die. 6 foot one and we no play. If you don't want you guys shoot me. Much as to buy a sting up and a 6 grand I'm a spam for my shirt. Me love a good t-shirt and jeans. Much less me go put on a suit. And no girl go watch me like fruit. So she want it.
Time check for you, 8:30 across the country. Right, there's the voice of Azariel. Alongside Kurt Lee and Stiffy Stiff. That one is called Popular.
The girl said that she need me. But take a boy as man popular.
Your girlfriend let me come and die. 6 foot one and we no play. Much you get you.
And we've got Azariel joining us now live in studio. Good morning to you, Azariel. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. How you keeping? Good?
Yeah, man. Guyana. Good morning. Azariel's on the radio. Caution them.
Caution them. Where did you get that line, caution them, from? What's behind that? I keep hearing that, caution them.
Yeah, the caution them is just to keep everybody on their toes, keep them alert, because, you know, Azariel brings attention to himself, brings attention to the music. So yeah, that's what it's about.
How's it been going for you in the music industry?
It's had its ups and downs, but, you know, music is music, and that's why I do it. I do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
So I'm always encouraged every time I drop a song, regardless of how it performs, you know, it's just, I do it for the love.
You started off with that 10 piece, and the person fell in love with that one.
Okay. Yes,
bursting you onto the scene.
Yes. The tint song is the song that made me popular. You understand? But I've been doing music since 2017. 2020 is when the tint song dropped. But I did my first professional recording in 2017. Yeah. So since then I've been doing it. It's almost 8 years now.
Yeah. How's it been like for you in terms of moving from when you got started, when you made that first recording, to when everything started to move up for you and people started to take note of you as an artist?
Yeah, well, initially I was a bit hesitant to start because I was focusing on my studies. I wanted to prioritize that. So as soon as I finished studying aviation with Art Williams and Harry Went, I decided to follow the music heavily, and I said, you know what, let me just give it a try and see what happens. I did that, and then from then it's just been up. Like I dropped a couple of songs that got a lot of radio play, and that was the encouragement, you know, just knowing that people could hear your music and vibe to the same music that you've been vibing to in the studio. So since then, things have gotten better in terms of people knowing me and people knowing the music. So I like to be identified by the music I do.
You're studying for aviation engineering, and all that stuff, and then transitioning to the music.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that in terms of putting the two together?
Yeah, well, I've been writing music throughout school, but like I said, I was prioritizing the studies. So I had to focus on the studies, get that completed. I got that completed in about 2015 is when I graduated Art Williams. And then I said, you know what, let me just focus some time on the music. So the engineering, you never stop studying. You're always studying. But I've learned to balance them. I do it together. I don't know. I just do it together. Yeah. It's not that hard if you have the love for it. I have the love for engineering and I'm good at that. And, the music just comes naturally. It's not too much hard work.
Yeah. And one of the things about your music and the songs you put out there is that you come with those Guyanese terms and that Guyanese accent that a lot of people, don't
Yeah.
do.
A lot
People
of
go out there and
people-
they sing a reggae, they sound like a Jamaican, they sing a soca, they sound like a Trini. But you've been able to do dancehall type music, but holding on firmly to your Guyanese sound.
Yes. It's
Was that
defi-
something deliberate?
Yes, it's definitely deliberate. I did that because I think like identity is everything in everything you do. So I never wanted to let go of my Guyanese identity. I want people to always know that I'm Guyanese. I always go represent for Guyanese all the time. As much as I love the dancehall music, there will always be the dancehall influence, of course. But when people listen to my music, they must know it's a Guyanese. I could sing a song and song Jamaican, but
Yeah.
because I grew up listening to dancehall music, so I could do that, but I prefer not to do that because I want them to know that I'm a Guyanese all the time.
But are you fearful that could somewhat hold you back in terms of getting more of your music out there, getting that reach? Because there's only so much that can take place in Guyana. I figure the ultimate goal is to be recognized across the region and worldwide.
It is, but my biggest song is Tint. You understand? And Tint is fully
Full
Guyanese.
GT.
Fully Guyanese. So that should say something. And a lot of the Guyanese artists them should take a page out of that and just like, because a lot of Guyanese shy away from it because of the same thing. They think that because we sound fully Guyanese and a lot of people talk down on the Guyanese accent and the Guyanese slangs and whatever, they won't get anywhere. But I feel like if enough people start doing it and make it popular, then it will be a movement.
Yeah.
So-
Tell us about this new song because you're teaming up with Kurt Lee and Stiffy Stiff on that new vibe popular that we heard in the opening.
This is the new trend. This is the new vibe right now. Popular. When y'all want popularity, you understand. So it's not necessarily about girls only. It's just about being popular and dealing with the ins and outs of being popular. So the music speaks for itself. Everything is self-explanatory basically. So just listen to vibe, and you can see that it is good music. And Guyanese people need to understand that we do good music as Guyanese artists. Just give us a chance.
A lot of times people, we hear the calls for more support for Guyanese music, but I don't think a lot of people understand the work
Yes.
that you have to put in as an artist, whether you're Guyanese or not, the work you have to put in to get your music to that final stage. So take us through those stages and how you've seen your work ethic when it comes to music improve over the years. What is it like getting a song together and going to that studio and getting the final touches?
Yes, well, first of all, you get the idea, you get the song, you go build. I feel like that's the easy part. You as an artist in Ghana, you see, overseas, I would compare to an artist overseas. Most artists have a proper management team, and they have other people dealing with different aspects of the promotion process, right? In Guyana, primarily, most artists do the recordings. Then we gotta go get the cover art together. We gotta deal with organizing the video. We gotta deal with distributing the song, distributing the video. You understand? You as the artist have a lot of work to do, and it could be discouraging sometimes, especially when you get everything done and then you put it out and you don't get the response that you're looking for. So in Guyana, we definitely need some assistance with that, but most artists just do it by themselves, and I feel like that kind of overwhelms you. And if you're not strong enough mentally, then it could overcome you and then it will push you out. That's why I feel a lot of Guyanese artists who have the talent, because over the years we have shown that we have the talent as Guyanese artists. So I feel like that discourages them, and eventually they just fall off.
What more do you think is needed to help Guyanese push the music not only around Guyana, around the region, and and internationally?
It needs to be a collective effort, because as the artist, there's only so much you can do. I mean, you can really try, but eventually you run out of funds, you run out of drive, encouragement. You need to be self-motivated all the time, but you need a collective effort. You need, as an artist, to get a team together, but then it needs to be like, I've had a bunch of conversations, a bunch of arguments with people concerning what the government needs to do, or what the radio stations or the artists and everybody collectively needs to do to get the music out there. But we need to start somewhere.
Yeah, because in Guyana it's mainly like independent artists.
That's
so
correct.
wouldn't you think like maybe like labels or record labels that could come together, sign persons on, and do the work for them would be good for Guyana?
Definitely would be good. We need to make a step in that direction. I think we need to have discussions about these things, because we could only go so far with just one person, two persons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need a lot of people doing this so that we
Yeah.
could put Guyanese music on a different level.
You know, sometimes people say Guyanese artists, they shoot themselves in the foot because in many instances there's that issue with consistency.
Yeah.
They come out with a song, they come out with a hit, it gets the public following, you know, the people give them the support, the radio stations give them the support, then they disappear.
Yeah.
So, you know, how important do we think consistency is in the local industry to really push the music?
Yeah, consistency is definitely one of the biggest factors. You as the artist, like I said earlier, though, a lot of artists get discouraged because of funds, because of whatever.
Yeah.
They have different responsibilities that pop up, and you know, you need money to do music. You need a start, and a lot of us are self-funded, but you could only, after a while, you get discouraged.
Go so far.
Yeah. So, indeed, we need funding. Funding is the most important thing, and then, you know, the right structure is in place so that we could have a platform to do what we need to do as the artist, because the talent will just go to waste. And as an artist, I feel like you only have a certain amount of years. You know,
Yeah.
you have a prime. And
Somebody
then
new is
just-
going to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Something new, some other vibe. You understand? So that's what it is. And we'll always have new talent coming up in Guyana because the kids listening. I was just a couple of years ago was a big fan of Guyanese music before I even started writing any music. You understand? I used to be in the crowd supporting the artists the same way. And then eventually I started doing it. So it's just a process. It's one thing over and over and over. And like I said, since then I've been seeing the talent and what happened.
Yeah, you know, I've seen on social media and even in the studios many Guyanese artists in this beef
Yeah.
that is becoming popular now. You're seeing it popping up back in the U.S.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that. Could that be serving more good than bad or more bad than good? How do you think it is? Because we saw you got involved too with
Yeah,
some
yeah.
other artists, and there was this trading of words in song.
Yeah, it definitely. You see, the thing is, it brings a lot of attention. Controversy sells, right?
Yeah.
So it brings a lot of attention. I feel like that kind of builds the music to a certain extent, but then you need to be able to separate the personal things from music. You need to keep
Yeah.
it musical. If you can keep it musical, it's entertainment for everybody. You understand? People like that. But you know, once it gets outside of the music, then it's a different thing we're talking about all the time. But I feel like it could be positive to a certain extent. If it goes overboard, then you know,
Yeah.
it becomes nothing but negatives.
Yeah. And as you've said, you've been doing music for about 8 years now.
Yeah.
And you've got quite a big catalog. While we
Yeah.
know the popular songs, you have other songs.
Yes.
You sent me a folder with a whole heap of songs this morning.
Yes,
And
yes,
I'm
yes.
going through them and I'm like, well, he did this and he did this. And, you know, so there's so many other songs out there. What do you want to see radio stations like 94.1 and the other radio stations out there
Yeah.
do to not only support you and your work, but support the other artists who are coming up?
You see, that's the thing too, because Azariel is not the only talented artist in Guyana. There are a lot of artists that are just as talented, even more talented in some cases. You understand?
Yeah.
So personally, I feel my music is played reasonably, like a lot. My music is on a lot of radio stations in and around Guyana. You understand? So when I speak about support for Guyanese music, I'm not necessarily speaking about myself. I'm speaking
yeah.
about Guyanese music in general, because I think I need to see or hear rather more music from the radio stations. I think if we could get the percentage up to somewhere around 50% in the near future, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I have the suggestions as an artist, coming from the point of view of an artist. I think if we could get our music, because the other countries like Trinidad, Jamaica, all these countries that have a flourishing music industry, they have a certain level of a certain amount, a certain volume of local music being played on the radio stations every day. So I feel like if Guyana could get to that, whether it's 40%, 50%, because what are we at now?
I'm not even sure.
We don't know those statistics.
Yeah, but I'm guessing. I'm gonna guess and say that we're below 20%. Let's just say, right?
But isn't that what's available? Because you think a radio station has 10 hours of broadcasting and you're asking for 50% of music, and that
Yeah.
is 5 hours of local music, and you divide a song. An average song is what, two and a half
3.
minutes or 3
Yeah.
minence? So, you know, you're looking on average a whole lot of songs with the
Yeah,
day
but I
comes.
think we
so
do
is that amount there? Is it consistent that people, you know, are going to keep bringing out the music that they want to hear on the airwaves?
Yeah, definitely. I think currently we have a lot of music in Guyana. The thing is, a lot of music is being slept on, right? I think outside of Azariel, there's a bunch of other artists who consistently do music,
Yeah.
but it's just we would call it underground music because that doesn't mean that the quality is subpar or anything like that. It just
Yeah.
means that it isn't being heard by the right individuals or whatever. So, and the problems Guyanese artists face when they go out to perform as an opening act on shows for these bigger artists is that we go out and usually the crowd won't be responding to the music, not because the music is trash or anything like that, but because they don't know the music. You understand? So I feel like the radio station helps with that. And if we could get the people to learn the music, then when we go out on shows, we will get better responses. And therefore, the artists then will grow because their confidence will grow and things like that. So I feel like we definitely have the amount of music to get it done, right? We just need to figure out how to get it done. A lot of people say that with the radio stations, maybe bills won't be paid and things like that. But I don't believe that. I believe that we still have the quality music. I feel like if you release 10 songs without saying where the artist is from, people will receive it better. But as soon as they get the Guyanese artist attachment, because
like a culture thing.
because of the stigma that is attached to Guyanese music, a lot of people start marking it down for those reasons. And we have a lot of songs that come out of other countries that are subpar, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? You understand? A lot of stupidness just get played, right? So I feel like Guyanese artists are on a level whereby we could get a higher percentage of music being played on the radio station, not just 94.1, but all the other radio stations.
That's something important that I know radio stations will have to clearly examine.
Yeah.
Going back to Azariel, the artist, what more can we expect from you moving forward? What plans do you have to keep the music alive, and what you're doing to stay relevant?
Yes. Well, you need a little bit of the social media and the consistency with the music.
Yeah.
I'm definitely staying consistent with that, and I'm putting in my groundwork in terms of getting music videos done. And I'm constantly doing music especially when I'm in Guyana, because I don't live here. So whenever I'm visiting, I do all my music work as much as possible, because when I get out of here, I don't really get to do it as much. You understand? So whenever I'm here, I'm always putting in the work musically, getting videos done, and just
pushing through.
That's it.
All right, good music. Azariel, the artist, that's his name. You can follow him on social media. Azariel, caution.
Azariel official on all social media platforms, YouTube, everywhere. You just follow the music, Spotify, iTunes, and that's another point. A lot of Guyanese artists need to, because it's not hard. It's not hard to get your music into stores, into places like, just make your music more available. When I first started, I was recording. I used to play the instrumentals with my laptop and record on my phone and send it in WhatsApp groups, and then my friends would encourage me. Then eventually I started recording. Then when I got to the recording stage, professional recording stage, they said, yo, we need your music on other places other than YouTube. So I did some reading and some research, and then I figured out how to get my music into the stores, and a lot of Guyanese artists need to do that, because people just use Apple Music and those things. We need to get our music out there.
All right. Good information there. Thanks for being here with us this morning, Azariel. His new track alongside Stiffy Stiff and Curtly, it's called Popular. Of course, as you've heard, you can go follow him on social media platforms, Azariel Official. Stay connected with him on Spotify and YouTube. And support the artists. Caution.
Girl, popularity. She will give me her like carotene. Me no need, but we accept like poverty. Come to agreement, so we have full solidarity. The girl say me got the sauce. She want roll with the boss. Cause man popular. Yo. The girl said that she need me. You think a boy girl easy. Cause man popular.
Your girlfriend, I'm a come dog. 6 foot one and we no ugly. If you don't want your guy shoot me. Much has to buy a sting up and a 6 screen come and spam on my shoulder. Got a good t-shirt and jeans. Much less we can put down a suit. And you gotta go watch me like through. So she gotta
one devices on Facebook and other places, including making mockery to the police. Punchy, you just make mockery to the police and say the police is collecting private arc and anything. We can educate ourselves this morning. Wind up the window and so you're looking punchy. Punchy TV, you're highly tinted, and front all your vehicle got tint punchy TV.
Officer, come over the tint up. It just put on a me never script up. You buy a gang for a spin one flex up. Gear one where they all have on a green up.
You mean you're not
registration. You gonna tell me what's your current occupation, and then you're gonna drive to the station. There's a Azariel car coming up the road there. What? There's a police. This vehicle heavily tinted.
HJ
Officer, down over the tip,
94.1.
no? It just put on a me never stripped up. You buy gang gonna spin one flex up. Here one body, whole lamp on a green up.
Give me your documents, bonder citation. I want your license and your registration.
850 across Guyana, that's the voice of the lawless boss. His name is Azariel.
Hold on, you buy is not gangster. No clean bad like cancer. All of this, yo, this ain't even called for. Watch any question.
Sound check for you, it is 850 across the country.
No seatbelt, and your car so black I can't see it.
But officer, how you see this seat belt?
Is I asking the questions, don't get me vexed. Watch, how black is this car?